2, 3, let's switch this up.
Hey you guys, welcome back. I know it's been a year since I've uploaded onto this channel. I did a live the other day and kind of explained everything, and I left that on my channel, so I don't really want to get into it again. So if you're curious about what's been going on with me and why I've not been here and so on and so forth, go watch the live that I uploaded yesterday and that'll let you know. I'm going to try to get this uploaded on Sunday, the 22nd of October. So fingers crossed. You'll know before me, honestly. You'll know. Ignore the background. Floors are being redone right now, so everything is everywhere. And this is the quietest room in the house right now because new flooring's being put in and it's loud in other rooms. So I'm in the quietest place that I could possibly be to film this video. This is a story time about some weird things that's been happening the past 10 months. And those of you guys who know me and who have watched this channel, you guys know every year I do MorganShay33. I am coming back at the end of October, but I do have a 3-part video. This is part 1 of things that have been happening with this doll and other occurrences that have happened prior to finding the doll. Let's start from the beginning. In December, late December of last year, I moved into this house. And my mother also, this is my mother's house, and we're living here temporarily until we move into our house, which we go look at next Wednesday. Cross your fingers. There is this doll that my mom's had in her curio cabinet for years. Keep in mind, this doll isn't even on the radar. But from the beginning of moving into my mom's, weird things started happening. As soon as I moved in, I started to notice these really weird occurrences. For example, the curio cabinet itself, which this doll was in at the time, the lights inside of it would turn on. Nobody knows how to turn these lights on. There are lights in there, but we don't know how to turn them on. So they would turn on and off by themselves. And the first really weird occurrence happened in March. Now, before March, you would feel like somebody's in the room with you. I would just feel presences. Like, you know that feeling like when you're not in a room alone, but nobody's in there with you. Hearing sounds, having really weird dreams. The water in our bathroom turned on by itself twice. In March, a really weird thing happened. So mid-March, my mom decides to get cameras for the inside of the house because we were going to be gone for a little bit and she wanted to have cameras installed in the house. She just wanted them in general, and us leaving for a little bit was just kind of like an extra momentum to just kind of get the cameras installed. So I help her install the cameras. We put one in the dining room, one in the kitchen, one in her bedroom, and then obviously outside cameras. And the one in her living room faces the front door. 7:30 in the morning, my mom comes rushing into my bedroom. And this is like a couple of days before we were leaving, and wakes me up. Like, this wakes me, I haven't been awake before this. And my boyfriend leaves for work at 4 a.m. Keep all of this in mind. So my mom is like, oh my God, you need to see this. This is crazy. Holy shit. And I'm like, what? Y'all, she shows me the footage on her phone. Hand on the Bible, this is what it was. All of this started after my boyfriend had already left for work. So it's like 6 o'clock in the morning. These cameras only detect movement. Okay, so they go off with movement. So there's screenshots, and they're all a minute apart, starting at 6:03 in the morning. 6:03, 6:04, 6:05, so on and so forth. The first picture is of the front door closed. The second picture, front door closed, but there's movement, right? Third picture, front door closed. It goes all the way down to the 9th picture. And the 9th screenshot is of our front door opened. Now, the night before, this is a every night thing. Every single night, my mom locks the bottom lock and deadbolt to the side door, which goes to the side porch. No one ever uses the front door because we all come through the side door. That's where the carport is. That's where the driveway comes up to. Like, you would have to walk through the grass to come to the front door. Like, nobody ever goes through that door. The only time anyone goes out that door is to sit on the front porch. And at this point in East Tennessee, living up in the mountains, like, it was way too cold to be sitting on the porch unless we had a fire or fire pit going or something. But we would always check the front door because sometimes my nephew's up here. He goes out and plays soccer or throws ball with my boyfriend or my stepdad, whatever. Y'all, we check on the 9th picture. That front door is open about this much, where you can see the sun coming through the glass door, like all that. The very next picture, the 10th picture, is of the door closed. Me and my boyfriend don't even have a key to that front door. The only key we have is to the side door because, like I said, it's a door we all use. So me and my mom immediately, after looking through these photos, we run to the front door. That door was shut and locked. Not only was the bottom lock locked, but the deadbolt was locked. So this is the occurrence where we're like, okay, attention is drawn. Then I start having these dreams, and my boyfriend, I'm actually going to bring him in here and let him describe to you guys. I started talking in my sleep, like I was talking to a person, and my boyfriend then started to ask me questions in my sleep. He would be like, well, what do they look like? What's their name? Things like that. And I would answer. I would ask whoever and answer it. And I started to have dreams about this one in particular Indian woman for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And this is going to be very important to the rest of the story. So hold, please. Let me go get JP and bring him in here and let him kind of fill you guys in on the Indian woman.
He would just start talking or staring like dazed look, and I would ask her, I'd snap and do all this shit, and finally she'd shake it off and look at me. And she didn't want to tell me what it was. She just told me nothing. She just dazes off sometimes, and then finally, after it happened over and over and over, she started trusting that I loved her and wasn't going to judge her and think bad about her, or call her names, or do whatever I guess other people has done in the past. She would start opening up and telling me what was really going on, that she was talking to spirits, people that had passed on, and they would visit her. And one particular one was a couple of different times, was an old Indian woman who we now believe to be my grandmother on my mom's side, because she was full-blooded Cherokee Indian. And from what Morgan has said, this woman had nothing but good intentions and was trying to warn me about things, and that she cared about me. And so the only thing we could think is that was my Granny Trent that had passed away when I was real little, and that she was watching over me.
Yeah, because she kept saying proud. She would say that over and over, proud, 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 and warning.
Another one that frequently visits Morgan is my grandfather.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
Who we believe to be my grandfather.
It is. I've confirmed that now.
He is an elderly Italian gentleman that's always watching me and watching over me.
Very spunky.
And yeah, it's wild. She's talked about things that she couldn't have known because she's not met my family, and she's not been told certain stories, I guess you could say, of issues that's happened or things that's happened to certain family members that's passed away now. I had a cousin, my mama's cousin, so I guess he's my second, visited her one night and was trying to warn me about some family members. She had no idea that he was suspectedly gay, that she had no idea that he was addicted to drugs, and that he was murdered. Suspicious. Well,
I didn't know his name.
A lot of different issues come up that she had no way of knowing because she didn't even know my side of that family's last names. Hell, I don't even know their last names. I just know who they are and the stories and the troubles that they got into and the circumstances that got them. So, yeah, she definitely is talking to someone that's not visible to the regular person's eye because you just don't know things about people that you know no one that's kin to them. There's no way you could know them or know their names. So for anyone that wants to know, she definitely does talk to people that's passed on, moved on, and looking for something, whether they're looking to warn someone or looking to reach out through her to tell the true story and get someone in trouble that should have done been in trouble, or just comfort somebody and say, hey, you know, this person's watching over you and they love you and care about you.
After he starts telling me, hey, you're having this reoccurring dream, there's an Indian woman, I'm used to spirits coming around and telling me things. I don't like to open up too much about it online because I feel like either A, people think it's a joke, B, people think I'm lying, or C, it's just a bunch of people who think it's demonic, which it's not. I'm a Christian. Went to church today. I believe in the Lord. It has nothing to do with that. It's been this way since I was little. So he starts telling me these things, and it's almost kind of like I snap out of it, kind of like he was saying earlier, like he would put his hand in front of my face and like hello, whatever. And I wouldn't do anything. And eventually I would like, oh, nothing. And then eventually I was like, I'm going to have to tell this man something or he's going to think I'm absolutely out of my fucking mind. So I tell him, and he's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. You've been having dreams and talking about an Indian lady, and I think it's my grandmother. And we do now, I know it's his grandmother. She was warning, like trying to warn both of us of something. And not that the feeling that I got when the door was open and then closed and cabinet lights turning on and off by themselves, like, not that that made me feel like it was a bad or negative energy. It was off-putting. Normally when things like that happen to me, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Like when the water turned on in the bathroom, it's just like, it was a different vibe. That's what I'll say. It wasn't a bad vibe. It was different, the way that it made me feel. Fast forward time, things continue to happen. We're about to go on vacation. And before we go on vacation, we are getting an Airbnb. My whole family went. And my mom was like, I want to take some of my dishes and pots and pans because I don't know what the Airbnb is going to have. So she has me getting a china cabinet. In this china cabinet, as I mentioned earlier, there has been this Indian doll that has sat in the very top of this 7-foot tall china cabinet for years. This doll is a porcelain Indian baby, like young girl, and she is in full Indian attire with pigtail braids that come to about here, with a headdress with feathers. When I pulled this doll out of my mom's china cabinet and I turned and showed it to my mother, we both were terrified. I mean, it was like, what in the world? Because there's no sign of any hair anywhere in there. There's no sign of anything like this happening. And also keep in mind, there would be no way for a child to get up into that china cabinet and get up there to that without breaking so much glass. Number one, it's behind all of these glass vases and little trinkets and things that are all glass, and it's on the very top shelf in the very back. There's no way any of the kids would have A, had time to do that without somebody coming in, or B, do that without breaking so much stuff. And all of the shelves in the cabinet are glass. So it's like, And the door is childproof. So in order to get the doors on the china cabinet, it's childproofed. So I don't even think any of the kids are old enough in my family to be able to open that door on their own anyways. Plus, we have the security cameras, and we know that nobody has been in this china cabinet. Nobody. So when I pull out this doll and I show it to my mom, I'm looking at a terrified person, and she's looking at a terrified person, because we know no one's been in this china cabinet. And we now know the last time that this doll was out was when she was put in the cabinet. And we know that that's been over a decade ago. And this is not what that doll looked like. And my mom cleans the cabinet all the time. And she has really bad allergies. She has to clean the cabinet all the time. She said, you know, I never take the doll out. I just move things around and wipe out because it's so high up. She said, but I literally just cleaned the cabinet earlier this year in March, and the doll was fine. Now, if you remember earlier in the video, I said March is when things started to happen. And when she said that, I was like, oh my God, like, what in the world is going on? And after speaking to my spiritual advisor, I truly think that there's someone trying to communicate that doesn't know how. And if you watched my live that I did yesterday, I told you guys that I started drinking pretty heavily about 4 or 5 months ago. And that is the last time that I had any encounters with anything until here recently. And now things have started again. And the other day I was working in my office and I felt like somebody was standing. I'm right here. My computer and desk is literally behind you guys right now. I work from home and I'm in here and I'm working and I feel like someone's behind me, and I turn around, and as I turn, and then it's still right here, I see this doll face down in this office. I'm not even going to edit this part out. I'm going to leave it in so you guys know, like, all this is being left in right now. Now, before I show this doll, I want you guys to remember she had beautiful lashes, long pigtail braids, a headband with a headdress of feathers. Beautiful doll. Now, before anyone comments, I want to also say that her hair was perfectly down the middle. There were no bangs, none of this, okay? All of this was under the headband. The entire headdress is gone. All of the headdress is completely gone. There's like some feathers left where it looks like it's just been, but the thing is like the part completely down the middle, and the part is completely gone. Like, I don't know if you can tell this or not, but there's no part. It's hard to see on camera. And these hairs, it's wild. There's also a hole back here now where hair has just been completely moved, like completely removed. And then also the front of her lashes on this side are completely gone. Her mouth is all the way, like, completely open in here. It looks so creepy, like looking in there. So yeah, this was sitting right over here on the futon chair that is beside my desk. Taken out of the cabinet and in here. After that happens, we decide to start going through camera footage. Scrolling, nothing, absolutely nothing on the camera footage. So the next thing that happens is just too much. Oh gosh. All right, you guys, that's going to be part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 and 3. And who knows, part 3 may have even more into it because things are currently happening as we I'm home by myself right now. JP just left to go get a part for the washer. And everybody else went to the pumpkin patch. And I just heard a woman yell. Okay, cool. Anyways, stay tuned for part 2 and 3 of this series. I'm so happy to be back. I'm so excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the rest. Be sure you subscribe and like this video and comment some videos down in the comment section of things you want to see. Anything at all. If you want story times, if you want makeup, whatever you guys are feeling, leave it down in the comment section below. I love you guys so much. Until the very next time. Bye.
I was hanging with you and then I realized I didn't think it was true. I was surprised when I found out I'd fallen for you.